What is up, Mom Nation? Happy Tuesday and welcome back to Energy Shift. My name is Erin and I am your go-to for all things health, wellness, hormones, perimenopause, mindset, food relationship, muscle, metabolism, all the things that are bringing you a happy, healthy body and a body composition that you love living in. Okay. So today we are going to go over hormones. I've talked about this a bit before. This is always a hot button issue with women, and rightfully so. Our hormones fluctuate our entire lives, mostly throughout the month. They're not stable, as you know, so we're constantly battling with inflammation, mood swings, cravings, and especially as we start getting a little bit older, these things can get even wonkier. So then we have sleep disturbances, hot flashes, all kinds of things that are disruptive to who we want to be and how we want to feel. So here's what you need to know before we dive into the 7-day reset. Hormones are messengers. So they are telling you the output is based on the input. If our input is off, our output, and especially if you are somebody in the range of 35 to 55, we're talking about perimenopause and the beginning of menopause years, you are going to see a pretty extreme shift here. Part of that is age, yes, and part of it has to do with the lifestyle that we are living and what we have been accustomed to and what we have been sold as women in the health and wellness space. So if we can get a handle on that, we may not regulate hormones in a capacity where we don't need help, things like HRT, those kinds of things that can be beneficial as a tool, but they're not going to bridge the gap between lifestyle and the health, the body, and the way that you want to feel. Okay, so what you need to understand is that if your hormones are screaming at you, usually there's a reason why. And a couple of things that most women don't realize, and this is because we have been sold restriction, not carb-free life, under eating all of the time. That is coming at that is your first barrier to your hormonal stability. And that starts early. So we are already, despite the fact that our hormones are fluctuating already throughout the month, we start sometimes in our teens, usually our 20s, maybe even early 30s, this idea of chronic restriction. What that is doing is downregulating sex hormones, metabolic health, thyroid hormones, stress hormones are upregulated, and it's causing a metabolic storm that is making it harder for you to not only maintain your body composition, but feel the way that you want to feel. And there's a way out of this. But you can, if you think about this in the context of over time, years and years and years, not just days, weeks, or months, we're looking at decades of a restricted high stress body. And so, yes, your hormones are more regulated naturally in your 20s. So the things that you used to do in your 20s don't work as you come into your 30s, and then especially your 40s, and then especially your 50s, right? Those things start to change pretty dramatically. It's not just aging, though. It has to do with what we have been conditioned to believe and how we've treated our bodies in those earlier decades that is going to show up in the later decades of life. And the reason why is if we're constantly downregulating or upregulating hormones in a negative capacity, they are going to be even more off when we get a little older. On top of that, what happens when we're overly restricted a lot of the time and not prioritizing our most metabolically active tissue, that's muscle, we are down-regulating hormones, we're down-regulating our metabolism, we're down-regulating our basal metabolic rate. Your basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body needs to survive. If that is down-regulated, you are going to start seeing weight gain at lower caloric levels. And a lot of that, most of it, has to do with being under-muscled and chronically under-fueled. So we have to reverse that. We have to prioritize our nutrient balance, carbohydrate intake, protein intake, fiber intake, and muscle. Okay, I'm going to go over now. here's the caveat. I say something like 7-day hormone reset. This is just the jumping off point to the work that you're going to need to do over time. I like to do this 7-day, keep it pretty simple, and then you can dive into how you want to manipulate it to continue on for the rest of your goal year or whatever the case may be, right? Okay. So we're going to dive into it. No, you're not going to get like perfectly balanced hormones in 7 days, but I almost guarantee you that you will see an inflammatory shift. Like your clothes are going to feel better. The scale will go down. Most likely you're going to be sleeping better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel more clear-headed overall. And yes, just 7 days if you follow through. And I would recommend grabbing the guide. So if you want it, it's free. I will give it to you absolutely free. Just shoot me your email and I will get it to you today, tomorrow, next week, whenever you see this. If you're watching it later, I have it handy. I'm going to go over the guide. So you'll have it here. I'm going to, walk you through this step by step so you can come back to this video and grab the guide as well. So you have a tangible thing to read to follow the process as well as this video. Okay. So we're actually going to do 10 days, but there's 3 days of prep and then the full 7-day reset. The reason why we want to prep first is to reduce and minimize stress, because stress is one of the number one deterrents to hormonal regulation or hormonal balance. So we want to prep so that we don't have crazy decision fatigue. We don't feel overwhelmed on day one, and we can just hit the ground running on a Monday. So here's what I would recommend that you do. If you want to start this hormone reset, start this week. We're going to start with the first 3 days. And then the official start date will be Monday for your 7-day reset. So this week is just about prep. Next week will be the official launch. Okay. So this is what I call the baseline check, and you're going to get this in the guide as well. So this is day 1 through day 3. What you're going to do first is grab a food tracking app. A free one is fine. I like Chronometer. You can use MyFitnessPal. You can use, what are the other ones? There's plenty. But Chronometer is the one that I use with myself and my clients. So that's the one I'm going to suggest that you use, especially if you want me to help you troubleshoot. I can read the logs a lot easier. But again, use whatever you have used before. Lose It is another one. Chronometer. Okay. Write that down. We are going to track our food for 3 full days. Don't change anything yet. We just want to see where your current baseline is. This is how you understand what is keeping you stuck, what you need to start to work on, and what really is affecting your hormonal balance in your body. So what we want to know for these 3 days, this is our prep, is your average protein, average fiber intake, your meal timing, and your energy, hunger, and cravings. So you can make notes. You can keep a little notes tab on your phone. If you use the Chronometer app, you're going to be able to make notes right in there. This is hugely important because when we're tracking biofeedback, let's say there's one day where you have extreme cravings and you're feeling like it's really hard to stick to your meal plan or whatever the case may be. That is where we are going to look at nutrients that are meant for satiety. That's also a hormone. There are hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. If those are dysregulated, you're going to have a lot of cravings. You're going to have weird, what I often see is people not hungry in the morning, ravenous at night. That is dysregulated hunger hormones. So in order to get those back on track, we need to make sure that our meals are conducive to the hormone balance, the body fat loss, the inflammatory loss, all the things that we want to see. Okay. So we want those things. Remember, protein, fiber, meal timing, and then a note of how your energy, hunger, and cravings were in the Chronometer app, or you can use an app on your phone as well. So this is going to give you your real baseline instead of guessing. And what often we see is that women think they're eating clean. So they're either over consuming clean foods or drastically under consuming during the week, over consuming on the weekend. That shift, under eating, overeating, under eating, overeating, is is a stress signal. It's signaling that there is food scarcity and then overabundance. So your body's going to hold on to inflammation. It's going to hold on to water. What we have to do is stabilize that out. The body wants neutrality. It wants homeostasis. And most of the time we're living in this yo-yo, and that is what our body is giving us. So you have to start to look at what, like, if your body's giving you yo-yo, like you lose 10 or 20 pounds, gain it right back, lose it, gain it, are you also giving it yo-yo? Because usually what happens is your body is going to basically reflect what we are giving it. It doesn't matter that most of the time it's healthy and that you exercise. I'm sure you know that by now, because you would be in the body composition you want, you would have the hormone stabilization you want, the sleep, all of those things. These are all a factor, and we have to really look at our behaviors. Yes, there are things out of our control as well. Of course, we're all busy. We take care of families, we take care of businesses, we take care of our lives. So we have to manage the stressors that we do have control over, which is our food environment, our movement, our rest, recovery, sleep, all of those things. And that's what we're going to do through this week. Okay. So here is what we want for step 2. And this is still in the prep phase. This is all in the guide. I'm reading straight from the guide. So if you want it, shoot me a DM. I will get it to you today. Really, you could start this on Wednesday. So tomorrow, you don't even need to do that. You could do it over the weekend too. So you could start this Friday and start your hormonal balance reset on Monday, and then have results by the following week. I'm telling you, everybody that has followed through with this not only has seen the scale go down, they're sleeping better, they're feeling better, their digestion is better in 7 days. But right now we're still in the prep phase. Okay. So step 2 for prep is you're going to get a scale weight, measurements, and photos, front, side, back. And then we want to still continue, and this is going to be in the Chronometer app to record. If you wear like a wearable, it will connect to Chronometer, so you'll be able to see your sleep score on there, your recovery data. But if you don't have one, you can also make note of that in the Chronometer app. How is your sleep? How is your stress? How's your bloat? And how are your cravings? This is still in prep, because what we want to do is we're going to take these biofeedback markers and compare them to the next week. And if this feels overwhelming for you, don't let it feel overwhelming. At the end of the night, take 2 minutes and just reflect on your day and the app. Jot some notes down. It doesn't have to be this lengthy thing, just so that you start to understand where you started and where you get in 1 week. And the reason why I do it this way is because you will feel such a profound difference in 1 week that you are going to want to continue to do this. Even if it's not as perfect as week 1, you'll find some things that you can continue to implement over and over to continue to feel better, lose body fat, lose inflammation, gain muscle mass, all the things that we want for our health and our body composition and our longevity, with just keeping it simple, but understanding how far you can come in just a short amount of time. Okay. So we're looking at data points here. It's not judgment. All right. In this guide, you are going to get a whole food grocery list. What we want to do within this 3-day prep period. So if you start Friday, sometime between Friday and Sunday, we want to get these whole food groceries in the house. So the rules for the 7-day reset are going to be whole food only, high protein, high fiber, strength training, daily steps, and a sleep focus. That's it. That's what we're going to focus in on. You can eat whatever you want within the whole food category. Again, if you want the guide, it has the grocery list in it. I'm not going to go over every single grocery item, because that will take forever and nobody wants to listen to that. But you can have this. So just reach out to me and grab it. And here are the no rules: no alcohol, no meals out, and no winging it. We're going to commit. It's just 7 days. You absolutely can do this. And I just want to, like, the reason why I'm so adamant about this is because I've seen such profound change and difference in how women who feel like nothing works for them, they're tired of feeling stuck, they're tired of feeling bloated, they're tired of feeling foggy, they're tired of not fitting in their clothes. And in 1 week, how much difference it really can make. Okay, so we're going to commit to this, and again, it's just 7 days. So whole foods, grab the guide so you can get the list. High protein, high fiber, strength training, daily steps, and sleep. Those are going to be our non-negotiables. Our no items are going to be no alcohol, no meals out, and no winging it. We're just going to do this thing, and it's not meant to be overwhelming. It's meant to ground you, give you some very tangible things that you can do and follow, and you will get the result that you want. Again, this has to be repeated over time, but I'm telling you, in 1 week, you are going to feel so much better. Okay. So why does this work hormonally? It's going to predictably lower cortisol in the way we want it to, because we want cortisol to spike in the morning and we want it to lower in the evening. We want it to stay low until you wake up in the morning, not spike at 2 to 4 a.m. That is what you're going to get from this. Lower cortisol equals better insulin sensitivity, thyroid output, and better fat loss response. So all of those things are going to go together. That is what you're going to get from these things. Okay. So step 4 is building your meals. You're going to pick one food out of each category. I have proteins, carbs, fats, and fibers. So for example, I'm going to give you an example meal. We are going to do grilled chicken breast with a side of roasted potatoes. On the potatoes is a little bit of olive oil, so that is going to be your fat source. And then we are going to have broccoli on the side. Super easy, right? Or like I literally had this meal last night. We did salmon with chimichurri, so it's a little bit of fat in both of those items. Roasted potatoes and broccoli. That was my dinner. Another example that we could use for breakfast, let's say, is egg whites with a little bit of turkey in it, ground turkey or lean beef or chicken, whatever you want, mix them in. Then we are going to have a side of beans, a side of avocado, a side of fruit, and a little bit of berries. That's a big breakfast. I'm telling you this because this is basically what my breakfast is. I like to front load. So I have a higher calorie breakfast, a lighter lunch, and then a medium sized dinner. That seems to work really, really well for me. Cuts cravings down, helps balance out my cortisol, make sure that my body, like, it signals to my body that food is abundant and doesn't have to hold on to anything. So those are the things that you can start to do. So we have, what do we have? Egg whites with another protein. That way you're going to get more protein bang for your buck. We are going to have our carb source as beans. Could be a piece of toast too, if you want it to be. And then we are going to have the fat source, maybe a little side of avocado, and your fiber source is going to be a side of berries. You want to simplify that. We're looking at Greek yogurt, high protein Greek yogurt with berries and chia and a little bit of nuts on top. You got your fiber, you got your protein, you have your carbs, and you have your fats, which is the nuts. All of those are also fiber rich. So make it super easy. If you need more ideas, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help you. There's also meal examples in the guide, so you can grab that as well. Okay, so the next part of this, food is down. We're not setting calorie goals. We're not setting protein goals. We're not setting fiber goals. We're just going to eat off this list where every meal and every snack falls in that category. 1 protein, 1 carb, 1 fat, 1 fiber. Now, you may find that your carbs and fiber are kind of the same. That's okay. You can utilize this, like, carbs are fiber essentially, so you can utilize some of the same sources as both, but we want to make sure that we're sticking within this whole food structure, this whole food list. I have it for you. Just grab it. I also have workouts in here. So if you want, grab this guide because you're going to get your strength training. We want to do 2 to 4 per week. I have examples here for you that are 2 full body. So you can do this 2 times or you can do it 4 times. So just repeat it, rotate them. Workout A and workout B are in here. In addition to that, we're going to set ourselves a step goal for the week that we're going to hit every day. So if you need to understand where you're at now with steps, use that as part of your prep period. Maybe you've been hitting 6,000 and we want to get to 8,000. Give yourself a realistic goal based on what you're doing now. My goal, like generally speaking, is somewhere between 10 and 12,000 steps a day. For my clients, I like to see them above 7,000 steps a day. It really depends on what your work is. You know, like if you're somebody who sits a lot at your desk, it may be a little harder to get to that 10, 12,000. That's okay. 7,000 is still going to give you a huge bang for your buck. So we're going to set a step goal for the week. We're going to set some intention with your workouts. If you're not working out at all right now, we're going to aim for 2. If you're already somebody that does work out, we're going to hit that 4. With the food, with the steps, with the strength training, this is going to signal so much to your body. And again, you're going to feel so much different in 7 days, and you don't have to do 75 hard. You don't have to do anything crazy. This is just 7 days to feel like a different version, a better version, a healthier version of you. Okay. And then the next one is sleep. We want a consistent bedtime as much as possible. Yes, I know that, you know, kids are a factor here, but as close to a consistent bedtime as you possibly can. No screens, 60 to 90 minutes before you go to bed, especially social media scrolling. That is a huge hormone disruptor. That's going to create chaos with your circadian rhythm, your cortisol response. If you are waking up at 2 to 4 a.m. and we have scrolling going on the phone, that is a huge deterrent to your sleep quality. No more of that, okay? And then you're going to eat your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. So no food before you go to sleep. We're just going to make sure we have dinner and our last snack. So let's say you go to bed at 10. We're going to make sure we stop eating by 8 p.m., okay? That is it. So what is the reason why? Poor sleep. Again, elevated cortisol, water retention, cravings, and fat storage. If we can get a handle on that, you're going to see a lot less inflammation, lower body fat percentage, look more toned, and of course, have more energy because we're getting the sleep that we need. Okay, so we have made it to the end of the 7 days. So we're going to do our end of week check-in. You want to retake your weight, your photos, and your measurements, compare them, note changes to your biofeedback. How did bloat change? How did energy change? How did hunger/cravings change? How did sleep change? And how did mood change? Most women are going to notice less inflammation, better regulation, even if the scale hasn't been super dramatic. But what I have seen for most of the women that have gone through this process is roughly a 2 to 3 pound inflammatory reduction just by following this protocol for 1 week. Okay, so what is next? This week is supposed to create stability, give you an idea of how to build these balanced meals without overwhelm, give you an idea of some of the things that may be deterring your goals, your health, your results. And then we start to make it a little bit more realistic. You know, there's going to be meals out involved, but you know how to start building those meals out to be more balanced. So even if you go out for something like pizza, I'll tell you exactly what I do with that. Pizza is not a balanced meal, but you can make it that. So what my husband and I do, almost every Friday, we go out for pizza. We split one. We'll have one small, I eat gluten-free because I have celiac. So he splits a small gluten-free pizza with me. We get a big salad and we get something with protein. Depending on the restaurant we're at, like a couple of weeks ago, we got a house salad and added chicken to it. So we have chicken, protein, vegetables, fiber, and then we have half of our pizza. And then the place that we come down here in Mexico does like a huge bowl of shrimp. So we'll order the shrimp, a salad, and the pizza and share it. Okay, so that's how we're still getting our balanced meals, but having some fun stuff too. So After that is continued results. This is when you want to set up your macros. This is when you may set up hormone testing if things felt kind of stuck, or you're noticing some, triggering things like waking up in the middle of the night. That could be liver, that could be cortisol, it could be both. And this is what we look at when we're doing functional testing. So hormone testing, gut health testing, and functional blood work. That may be something that you need or are looking into. Gut health and inflammatory insight. Are you eating things, or were you eating things that were causing you inflammation? The next step is to deep dive into that. What keeps inflammation up for you? What drops it down? What can you have sometimes? What do you maybe need to eliminate from your diet that's not making you feel good? I'm not a good versus bad food person. I'm like a body trigger versus not body trigger. Yes, some foods are going to cause an inflammatory response, absolutely, that you can still have from time to time, but you have to understand that, like, when you do have it, it's okay. You just may see an increase in inflammation for a day or two after. Not a big deal. But if it's something that is disrupting your gut health or keeping you up at night, those things are clear sensitivities and hormone disruptors that you may choose to get rid of. That's what this next phase is going to look like. You're also going to need some sort of custom protocols based on the data that you get. This is going to give you so much information about your body, your stress, and your hormones. So the next step is applying them and making a plan that's going to make sure you keep moving in this direction, getting the results you want, feeling the way that you want to feel. And again, just 7 days for all of this data, all of these resources. I'm more than happy to walk through your biofeedback with you. So if you need that, feel free to shoot me a DM. I always offer a free metabolic health audit. What I like is for women to go through the 7-day reset first, establish a baseline, let me know how your body responded to this whole food protocol, this anti-stress protocol, this hormone balancing protocol, to see where we need to go from there. Do you need more protein? Do you need more fiber? Do you need more muscle? Are we sleeping correctly? Do we have some liver blockage issues? Are we dealing with super serious hormonal things that we need to look at a little bit more in depth? Those are all of the things that we can regulate and we can manage together if we have this beginning part of the data. So the next step is my free audit. That is going to come on a one-on-one basis. Again, for you guys, always free. This is free. The guide is free. Grab it. It will change how you look and feel again in 1 week, and it's free if you commit to it. So it's hard. It's not going to be easy, but again, it's only 7 days. And it is my belief that most things worth having require some hard work, require some self-reflection, and require change that it may feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. Part of the process is getting uncomfortable to get more comfortable, right? So that is what I have for you today. That was the step-by-step, essentially 7-day reset with 3 days of prep. You can start that this week. Guaranteed in 1 week, you're going to feel a lot better. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you need the guide, and we will talk soon. Have a good week, Mom Nation.
Struggling to feel your best? When energy is low and nothing seems to work, it's time for a new approach. Here's someone who guides real people to real, lasting wellness. Meet Erin McDonald, certified master health coach, nutrition coach, and NASM personal trainer. Helping you create simple, lasting routines that support a healthier, more energized you. Feel better, move better, live better. Because health isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle you deserve. Take the first step toward feeling your best. Your future self will thank you. Connect with Erin today.